Hey guys, so I'm a little bit late coming onto the page because my webcam didn't want to work. So you guys are stuck with the crappy little laptop one. So I apologize. It's not the greatest quality, but we're going to get the job done. So like I said earlier on the page, when I've got a coaching call that kind of drops out, I've already got the free time, so I thought I would come on to the page and do a little bit of free coaching for you guys. Because the one thing that I tell almost every single one of the people that come on to do the free coaching calls with me is that they need to develop some kind of a brand. It's one of the biggest things that any network marketer, any kind of home-based business owner can do, but most people are just not doing it. It's also where people are struggling the most to try to understand what is it that I mean when I tell them that they have to develop a brand. They don't quite understand. Even with some of the people who have gone through Brand Soldiers, where we talked about the reasonings why we do it, and how we can accomplish it, they still struggle with making sure that their MLM and their company is actually built into it. And then they kind of blow it all out of proportion. So here's the deal. We're going to talk a little bit about personal branding, what it is, what I mean by it, how you can start to figure it out. I've got a couple of resources that I can give you guys. And at the end, I'm going to put a comment down below as well, where you can book a free coaching session with me. They're 30 minutes, doesn't cost you anything. There's no obligation after the end of it. And people are getting a lot of value out of them. So you might as well take advantage of it while I've got them up on my calendar. You can book them a couple weeks out in advance, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So personal branding. What I mean by this, and the reason that I suggest most people do it, is because when people come onto your Facebook page, or when you give them a link and it is going to your business page, it's going to whatever company page that you have, there's a stigma that's attached to MLM. And we want to try to avoid that because you never get past that first step. You can never really talk to people if you can never actually have a moment to talk to them about what you do or what it is that you're offering them. So it's really important that we have some way of connecting with them that's outside of your home-based business, okay? And that's where your personal brand comes in. The biggest problem that people have is twofold: figuring out what the hell are they going to use as a personal brand, what are they all about, and figuring out how to add their MLM into it. So let me give you kind of a bird's eye view of what I mean by all of this. When you create a brand, there's kind of a few questions that you can ask yourself, and you can jot these down. This is going to be posted on the page in a few minutes, so if you miss it, it's not a big deal. You can come back and watch it again, or you can ask a question down below as well. So I want you to answer a few questions. What kind of people do you actually want to work for? Okay, what kind of people do you actually want to show up? There are people that you're not going to want to work with, and you're going to find that out as you get more customers, as you get team members onto your business. Everybody, I'm sure, is aware of people who come on. They're super, super excited. Hi, Darcy. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever, darling. How are you? And so, you know, when people come onto your team, they're really, really excited in the beginning, but it falters really, really quick. And suddenly you're spending more and more time trying to get this person just to do anything. Okay, those are not the kind of people that you want to work with. But then you can even, you know, look at, you know, some people don't really want to work with men. Their business, their model and things like that might be more suited to women. So, you know, you've got to think about who you actually want to work with in terms of your customers, in terms of your business partners that are going to be coming onto there, because there are going to be people. And as you build your business, you'll quickly learn that it's okay to say no to people, that it's okay to send them somewhere else. It was something that I had to learn very early in my own business as I was taking on clients as a virtual assistant. And I was taking on anybody who would show up, and I quickly realized that like 90% of them I didn't want to work with. So I had to switch gears and really pivot inside my business. But the same is going to be true for you. Oftentimes, home-based businesses, they don't want to do things like that because they are already having difficulties trying to find people, find customers, find people to sponsor and bring into their company. So they're very hesitant to cut that pool of people in half or even more when you really kind of think about it and you really dive down into what your target market is really going to be about. But it's really the most strategic way to do things. It's really going to end up being the easiest way to do things, and it's going to bring you more profit in terms of finding customers who are actually going to be buying things from you, finding people who are going to be sponsored into your downline, and being able to get them to actually do something. Because who cares if you've got 500 people under you if none of them actually do anything, right? So I want you to think about, who do you actually want to serve? Who do you want to work as a client? Who do you want to work as people that are going to be on your team? And then I want you to think about what kind of problems all of these people have. Now, this is where people start to get tripped up. So you've got to be very careful in how you're approaching the answers to this, because everybody likes to answer it in terms of their MLM. So if you're selling something to do with weight loss, it's only ever weight loss that they ever talk about, because that's all they really understand. They think that everything has to be built around their MLM. So they set their MLM here in the middle and they try to build out from there. And it has to be a little bit different. So think about the kind of people that you want to work with. Think about what kind of problems they're all having. So you can divide those into two. What kind of problems are the people who are buying your products? What kind of problems are they having? And then think about your team members. What kind of problems are they having that are bringing them to looking at home-based businesses for extra income or for a career switch? Okay, so you've almost got two target markets there. Then I want you to think about how you're going to be able to serve them. Okay, this is, guys, this is what I do. Okay, internet marketing is what I do. I spent the last almost 10 years trying to figure out all about this. Hi, Brian, how are you? Trying to understand how to use internet marketing in a way that wasn't skeevy and all that other kind of stuff. And if you guys have read any of my story, you know that I got my start in online anything back when I started with Avon like 12 years ago, almost 10, 11, 12 years ago. So the reality is that we have to figure out what all of this means. So don't set your MLM in the middle and try to build out from it. So when I tell you, what kind of things can you do to help people, I don't want you to think about it strictly in terms of your MLM. Okay, your MLM is eventually, when we talk about future-proofing your business, is eventually just going to be one stream of income for you. My goal with all of my clients is to create something that's going to work well for them no matter what they do. Okay, so if your company closes its doors, and it seems unreasonable, but I've seen it happen with people that I actually know in my day-to-day life, companies close, and now what do? They decide to move to a different company. I had it happen with me. I've had it happen with, again, people in my day-to-day life. I've also seen things where, there's a whole whack of things in your internet, your representative agreement that you can and cannot do. If you break the rules and you get caught, there is a chance that they're going to terminate your relationship with the company, and now you are stuck. So that's why we look to future-proof our actual business, so that we can make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and we're not just kind of doing this on the fly. That's why you guys are here. You want to build these businesses. So I want you to think about these people who are showing up, all of the problems that they have, and how can you solve them? And I want you to answer those in two different ways. I want you to answer them in terms of your MLM. So if you've got a product or an opportunity, how does that help them specifically? Okay, I want you to get more specific. So if you're selling weight loss, and these people are showing up because they're new moms and they want to lose all of the baby weight, I don't want the answer just to be I help them lose weight, because that is not going to be enough. You have to get to the real crux of the problem. And people want to lose weight, but why? What are they really, really feeling about? Okay, so that's like the most outer layer of an onion. You really have to peel it back to find out what's causing that. What is the root cause of them wanting to lose weight? So I want you to go deep on these ones. And then I also want you to figure out a way that you can solve those problems if you couldn't offer them your MLM. Because in reality, there are 3 people who are going to show up to your website, your Facebook page, any of your social media, anything like that. There's going to be people who are interested in buying your products. There's going to be people who are interested in the business opportunity. And then there is a whole whack of people who are not going to be interested in any of them. And the way that you increase your value, the way that you future-proof your business, is that you find a way to not only help all of the people who are showing up who are interested in your product and your opportunity, but finding a way to add value in helping the people who have absolutely no interest in your MLM. And it seems counterintuitive to do all of this when really all you want to do is build your MLM. But the reality is that most of the people that show up that aren't currently interested in your MLM, a lot of them just have that whole issue with the stigma of things. They can never get past that pyramid scheme. They can never get past the fact that you're going to want them to get into the business or anything like that. If you can find a way to add value to their life based on your brand, okay? Then you can eventually bring them back in around. You can start to steer them along the path of becoming a customer or then becoming a distributor for your company as well. So if you've got 10,000 people, let's say, that show up, and 9,000 of them are going to just drift on by because all you ever talk about is your MLM, well, why? Why? It doesn't make any sense, right? It does not make any sense. Why not use those 9,000 people? Do something with them. There's no sense in just letting them fall away. So when I talk to my coaching clients and we talk about personal branding, we're creating this new world where your MLM most definitely fits in, but you have a way of connecting with people before you bonk them over the head saying, here's my products, here's why you should buy them, here's a new sale that's coming up, and hey, do you want to start selling these? It doesn't work that way. Okay, when you read anything about internet marketing, when you read anything about sales funnels, you just cannot do that. You're going in for the kill far too soon, and that's why nothing is working for you guys. That's why you have to get better at marketing, get better at understanding what your brand is, so that you can bring these people in, warm them up to you first. They have to trust you, guys. There's no difference in an MLM than any other online business. Nobody is going to buy anything from you if they don't know you, if they don't like you, if they don't trust you. And the reality is that most people that come into MLMs are fly-by-night kind of people. They're going to do it for a couple of weeks, and then suddenly I'm not getting catalogs anymore, and I need to find a brand new representative because this person has now disappeared. We don't need that. We don't want that. So when you're bringing them into this, when you're dealing with your brand, it really has to be warming them up to you first, and then leading them down a path, giving them the option. Here's how I can help you, 1, 2, or 3. If they take whatever path, you have to have a way of connecting with them, of adding value to them, and then bringing them into the next step, the next step, the next step. Doesn't matter who you look at. Everybody's got a different term for it. They all claim it's all different products and all different ways of doing it. It's all the same shit, guys. There's going to be people who are like beginner level, who don't know jack shit about you, who don't know about your product and don't know how you can help them. You're going to talk to them very different than somebody who says, you know what, I've got a problem and I'm going to search for a solution, and they happen to come across you. They don't have to be warmed up to the possibilities nearly as much as somebody who doesn't know anything yet. And then there's people who show up and say, I know what I want, I know what I need, and I'm going to find that person that's going to be able to give it to me. Okay, beginner, intermediate, advanced, it doesn't matter what they're calling it. You can look at anybody who's gone 3 or 4 levels of ways to talk to people and bringing leads in. It's all the same shit. You don't have to pay a fortune to figure this out. Okay, but people are. They're paying tens of thousands of dollars for people to teach them the same thing that everybody's already telling them. So the point of having a personal brand is so that you have something out there that they can connect to, something that they can understand is their problem. You have to bring that out of them. You have to give them something other than just your MLM to connect with you. Okay, so when we talk about personal branding, that is why we do it. That is how you do it. And guys, it's not as simple as just answering 3 questions and you're done and over with it. But when you're just getting started, if you don't understand online marketing, if you don't understand internet marketing or anything like that, this is the quickest way to get started in it, okay? So write this down, grab a pen and paper, come back to the video later, doesn't matter what you do, but write this down and answer the questions and answer them as deeply and detailed as possible. Who do I want to work with? Okay, demographics, okay, are they male or female? What age are they? Those kind of things. And then get into psychographics, like what are they all about? What kind of issues that they have. You guys can Google psychographics if you're not sure what that is exactly. There's a whole bunch of blog posts on my site too if you need to go into those ones. But I want you to list out who you actually want to work with, because some of these people you're not going to want to work with. Who's your ideal person to have as a customer? Who's your ideal person to have as a sponsor underneath of you? And then I want you to think about what kind of problems they all have in terms of customers, in terms of downline. What kind of problems are bringing them to you? Okay, go deep. Okay, not just I want to lose weight or I want better looking skin or anything else. There's reasons that people do that. Okay, nobody buys anything because they've got green eyes. Nobody is going to buy anything because of their mom. Okay, why are they here? Why are there problems, and what is the really crux of the problem for things? And then I want you to think about how you can actually help them. Give me 2 answers. How can I help them with my MLM? And how can I help them if I can never offer them my MLM? Okay, they have to be too. If you want to future-proof your business, if you want to create an empire versus, being one of the 99% of people who earn like $50 a year from your MLM, you have to future-proof your business. So you have to give them options for it. Okay, those are the 3 questions that I want you guys to answer when it comes to your personal branding. You do have to have a website. Don't go putting links everywhere to your business page from your company. You need to build a website so that you can build this brand. It's something that you guys own. If somebody comes to my Facebook page, got 11,000 people on my Facebook page. I don't own any of them. I can't send them anything direct. I've just got to hope that they show up day after day, and I've got to hope that they are going to be seeing and interested in what I'm putting out there. I have no way to segment them. I don't own them. Okay, if they go to your company page and they buy a product, you still don't own anything there. You can't do anything with that other than try to connect with them if they've given you a phone number and email address, but you can't even add them to a newsletter list. So you guys have to build your own little part of the internet, something that you own, something that you control. Okay, and this is also how you get around the majority of the MLMs out there who say you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't put our products out, you can't have this, you can't do that. There's a company out there that is telling their representatives that they cannot have a business page. It's ridiculous. They want them to use their profiles. Well, guess what? That's against Facebook's terms of services to promote your business on your profile. So you need to get a real business happening, guys. If you want to build this, if you want to make the kind of money you guys are telling me day after day that you want to make, you need to put the time in. You need to do it right, and this is the first step for it. Figure out what your brand is going to be, get a website, and then we'll start from there. So I'm going to put a few links down in the comments down below. I'm going to run unless you guys have any other questions. But I hope this was helpful to get you guys started. It's the #1 problem that everybody runs into, and even the people who are creating their own brands when they come to me are still running into the same issues because they just don't understand internet marketing. And that's where I try to bridge both of them, right? What you're learning about things in terms of your MLM and your company, and how to apply it online. So get onto a free coaching session with me. It's no obligation, and there's tons of value that happens in there. But if you do have any questions about personal branding, just drop them down below, and I'll be back later today to answer them for you guys. All right, talk to you guys later.